You ever have one of those days where the world flips so fast you don't know whether to laugh, cry, or just stand there with your mouth open? Yeah, that's exactly how my story starts, so buckle up. One minute, I'm the CEO of a company that owns half the skyline. Worried about market share and board meetings next, I'm staring down a 7-year-old girl in a white blouse, patent leather shoes, and hair so perfect it looks airbrushed, asking me for a job. You think you've seen everything until you meet a kid like Lillian. She stands in my office, 63 floors up, Manhattan sprawled out behind her, not an ounce of fear in her eyes, holding out a handwritten resume and telling me she can clean, organize, even do division. Not kidding. She even added very quiet when needed to her list. When I asked her why she was looking for work, she just squared up, chin high, and said, "My mother's light is fading." Not her health, her light. That hit me harder than any boardroom ambush. I forgot I was supposed to be the guy with all the answers. Turns out, her mom's sick, really sick, and the doctors say they need money for medicine. She doesn't have a dad, just a mom who's holding on with everything she's got, trying to keep the lights on. Lillian tells me she rode the city bus alone, skipped school on a teacher planning day, walked right through security, and landed in my office because she needed a job. You know, sometimes you meet a kid and think she's seen too much. That was her. I asked her where she lived, Brooklyn, small apartment, nothing like my penthouse. I promised I'd come by that night, just to talk, maybe offer a little help. She didn't tell her mom, of course. So I drop her off at her aftercare, and when evening hit, I'm standing outside this old brownstone, nerves twisted up like a rookie. Her mom, Devin, opens the door, and I swear to you time just stopped. You ever see someone from your past, and everything you buried comes up at once? That was us. She'd changed, hair shorter, thinner, eyes still that golden amber. Lillian appears, says, "Mister, Rankin, you came." And then Devin looks at her, at me, and you can see the truth crash down because Lillian's not just some kid. She's my kid. Same birthmark. Same eyes. 7 years of missed birthdays and first steps, and I never knew. You want to talk about anger and heartbreak tangled up? Devin tried to push me out the door, pride fierce as ever, and I get it she'd done this alone. But now I knew. Lillian knew. The wall was down. Later, I pick up Lillian from school ice cream first, of course, because what else do you do when you're a dad for the first time in years? She calls me dad that day. I can't tell you what that does to a man who never thought he'd get the chance. But Devin, she was drowning. Bills piling up, pride eating her alive, refusing every offer of help. She'd been denied the treatment that could save her because she couldn't pay. All the while, Lillian's taking care of her, setting alarms for her meds, pushing chairs to reach the cabinet. I saw that and knew it wasn't about just writing a check or saving the day. It was about showing up. Every day. Being there. One day, Devin collapses at a job, just drops, right in the middle of the kids' play. I get the call from Lillian's school, rush to the hospital, and when the doctor tells me she's been buying time with steroids and pain meds instead of real treatment, I snap. Enough. I lay it out for Devin. This is about Lillian, not pride. I'm paying for the best doctors, the best care. No arguments. Devin's always been strong, stubborn that night. I see all the cracks. She admits she was afraid, that she thought disappearing would spare us both pain. I tell her about the engagement, the missed calls, how I try to find her the misunderstandings, the lost years. It hurts, but we finally talk, for real, and the anger turns into something like forgiveness. We make a plan. She'll move into the garden house on my roof, get the care she needs, Lillian gets stability, and I get the chance to be a father. Let me back up a sec. There's a twist in all this. Devin's daughter is falling apart in her own way. Lillian's hoarding food, her drawings dark and anxious, teachers worried about her. So the school sends in Dr. Chun, a psychologist, and she tells us what we already know. Lillian needs both her parents, needs to stop worrying whether she'll lose the only family she's got. So we agree, just for now, just until Devin's better, we all live together. There's something raw about those first weeks. I learn how to braid Lillian's hair, help with homework, cook pasta that's somehow never quite right, but always eaten. Devin's fighting, some days stronger, some days she can barely get out of bed. Lillian holds her stuffed rabbit, mister. Carrots, tight every night, and sometimes when the pain's bad, Devin and I sit up talking in the dark. Regret, fear, hope. It's all there all at once. Then the worst happens. Devin spikes a fever, lungs filling up, rush to ICU. I spend a night in a hospital chapel, begging whatever's out there not to take her. I sign emergency papers for Lillian, hold her hand, promise her everything's going to be okay, even when I don't believe it myself. Devin pulls through, barely, and in that moment, I realize this is it. This is what matters. Not the boardroom, not the penthouse. This family, these two, they're my whole world. After weeks, when she's strong enough, we fly to Switzerland for a new treatment. I watch Devin and Lillian build a snowman, their laughter echoing against the mountains, and I think, yeah, this is real. This is what I fought for. Devin's hair is gone, face rounder from meds, but she's still beautiful and she's alive. We talk a lot, more than ever. She asks me, if things go wrong, will I raise Lillian? Not just pay for her, but really know her the nightlight, the allergy to strawberries, the way she needs the closet door closed. I promise her, heart and soul, that I will. And I mean it. There's this night, after a movie marathon with Lillian asleep between us, Devin looks at me and says, we're in this together, not just for her, but for us. And for the first time, hope feels real, not just a story we tell ourselves. When we finally come home, spring bursting across Manhattan, everything feels new. Not perfect, life never is. There's still pain, still uncertainty. But we've built something stronger than pride or regret, a family, raw and flawed and real. And I gotta ask, what would you have done in my shoes? Is forgiveness ever simple? Or is it just a leap of faith, trusting that love's enough to bridge the gap between what was and what could be? Tell me, who decides what family looks like? Is it blood? Is it sacrifice? Or is it just the simple act of showing up day after day, even when you're scared out of your mind? Yeah, that happened. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. If you've ever lost someone, or found family where you least expected it, or if you're just out there, fighting your own battles and looking for a sign you're not alone, share your story. Because in the end, maybe we're all just hoping someone will walk through that door, look us in the eye, and say, I'm not going anywhere. Not this time.